about wants. Like you don't really want it. He got $100 million. There's not this endless like chase. What kind of life would it be for us not even to know how much time we have left on this earth, for us to be living it in a way that, hey, what's up you guys, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video here on Chats with Michelle. This video is from a content creator named Uncle John, and I just really love his content. It's like super genuine and just makes you feel good.
Earlier in one of my videos, I mentioned that I retired when I was like 32. A lot of people keep asking me, how did I retire at the age of 32? And to be honest with y'all, I had to go in and really restructure my American dream, y'all. At one point, me and my wife both had cars that was like $1,200 a month. She had a Mercedes, I had an Audi. Our vacations was really expensive. Every time we went out shopping, it was really expensive. We fantasized about things like having the best house in the best neighborhood, but we quickly realized that that wasn't worth it, and we kind of simplified our life.
What made this video resonate with me is because this is a feeling or a thought that I've been having for some time now. And I never really had the words to put with the feeling that I was having until I watched that video. It came across my timeline and I was like, aha, oh my goodness, that's exactly the feeling that I've been having. When he said restructuring the American dream, I was like, bingo, that is it right there. We're often told that we should desire more and more and more, especially if you're online on social media. Just a lot of consumerism, really. And this is something that's really had me thinking lately, so much so where I've even had a conversation with my husband just saying like, listen, what is our number? What is that number for us where there's not this endless limit of chasing more and more and more? And yes, in full transparency, comfortability is something that's important to us, as well as wanting to put in the work to create those things that create residual income so that you set up now that you're not so necessarily having to work so hard for in the future. And you think about, yes, wanting to set up your future family and kids, etc., the generations to come. All those things are important, but like, what is that number? Because I think what happens is like we're constantly going because there isn't a number that's set. And I was listening to someone recently and they were saying that they were like, listen, we have a number. Me and my family, we have a number. And yes, if we make more, that's great. But like, there's not this endless like chase and not feeling the need to work so hard to achieve this American dream that we're told that we're supposed to have. No, what does that look like for us? What does that look like for you? Defining that for yourself. In this season of my life, I'm focused on contentment, and that's not to be confused with complacency. And I want to go ahead and read the definitions between the two to just give a more broader and clear understanding of what exactly it is that I'm speaking to. Contentment is the state of gratitude and peace with what you have, without constantly striving for more, just for the sake of more. It means appreciating the present while still being open to growth. And now complacency is a false sense of security that causes someone to stop trying or improving. It leads to stagnation or missed opportunities because a person thinks things are good enough, even though they're not. For me, this looks like living below our means and maximizing our life in the areas and desires that we really want and not what we're being told that we should want. At the end of the day, none of us know how much time we have left on this earth. None of us have a clue. And it just like I said, I just began having this thought of like, what kind of life would it be for us not even to know how much time we have left on this earth, for us to be living it in a way that society tells us we should live, rather than fulfilling the assignment that God put on our life here and what you are actually interested in. And that's what I mean by contentment, right? It's not about settling or living small, so small, but rather understanding what my needs are and enjoying the fullness of my wants. There's a story that I heard about a basketball player. Now listen, I'm not privy to sports, so I could be fumbling this whole entire story, but just follow me here, okay? Follow me and try to grasp the point of it, right? So there's a story that I heard about a basketball player, And basically he was offered a $140 million contract and a $100 million contract. And he decided to go with the $100 million contract because he's like, listen, I've been playing basketball for X amount of years. I've already made so much money. Use the extra 40 to go get other great players to join the team, right? And there was this dialogue, I guess, of people being like, what? Like, how could you turn away the $140 million? Like, you have 100, like, and take 100 million. Like, what? No, I would have taken the 140. And it was a thing of like, and what I understood anyways was like, listen, I've already made all of this money. What can I do with 140 million that I can't do with 100 million? And not to mention like endorsement deals and probably how he'll just make that 40 million in his sleep anyways. And I could imagine maybe possibly you're saying, well, Shell, that's easy for you to say, or rather for him to say, he got $100 million. Like, what do you mean? But no, I see it as a different way. I see it as a level of contentment. One, not comparing our lives to others, right? But two, also just the contentment of understanding like I have enough. And it's not to say that I won't maximize and do well and be a good steward over what I've been given, but understanding like I don't need all of this. If the other 40 million can be a blessing to other team members to make our team better, then why not just do that? And this makes me think about the lottery and lottery winners, right? How some people can win the lottery and how a staggering amount of people who win the lottery go broke. Like you win the lottery, you win all of this money and you go broke because it's this lack of contentment, right? This feeling of needing more and more and more until like you literally have nothing. So what I'm not saying is that having nice things is a bad thing, right? No, but rather I think that it's a bad thing when nice things have you, in the sense of like, there's just a sense of discontentment that you feel like you just have to have all the things. The Bible talks a lot about contentment. And one of my favorite scriptures is from Philippians 4, verses 11 through 13. And it says, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. And that's what I want to challenge both you and I, is what it says here in verse 12, where it talks about learning the secret of being content. I feel like it would just make our lives go so much smoother. Sometimes we want things just because we see it, but we don't actually want it for real. And to be clear, I'm not talking about needs. I'm talking about wants. Like you don't really want it, but because you see it, now you think you want it. Like, we think about like success and we see what we see online and social media and things like that. And it's like, now what can happen sometimes is you're aspiring for a certain lifestyle or a certain thing or a certain trip or a certain anything. And it's like, do you even want that? Is that what your goals are? Like, what are even your goals? What do you want? Do you know what you want? What is your assignment? And I think if we're not careful, we can become carbon copies of each other or of other people, right? And if you think about a carbon copy, it's not like the original. The original, you can see the full print very boldly, but the carbon copy is usually what? It's faded. And I truly believe that we were all placed on this earth on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. God has an assignment especially for you. The Lord made you unique. The Bible talks about God knowing how many strands of hair we have on our head. Like, you're here on purpose. We don't have to be a copy of someone else. And I want to be clear here in saying that I'm not speaking to being inspired or even having the same interests, because I would assume that that's the reason why you're here, right? You're interested in similar things as me and you find inspiration, etc. Like, oh, that's a good idea. So it's not even speaking to being inspired, but more so when it's quite literally a copy and paste, not having your own identity, not having your own personality. And hello, excuse me, Michelle, oh my goodness, I am so guilty of this. Like, let me say that while I'm sitting here, like, I don't sit on a high horse. Please believe me when I tell you this. Like, I am not exempt. I also have found myself in these situations where I'm like, wait, what am I doing right now? I'm like, Michelle, stop it. And that's how I want to end today. I want to challenge you, homework, if you will, give you some homework to really just sit and ponder on, what do you like? How can you restructure this so-called American dream? Or if you're watching from somewhere else, how can you restructure what society says that we should want? And what is your God-given assignment, right? Like, what are the burdens that God put on your heart, that he placed in your heart for you to do? I really want to challenge you to that, and I'll be doing the same. So with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video. Listen, if you found this video valuable, please consider sharing with someone who may also find this video valuable. And while you're at it, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because listen, there's so much to chat about. Bye.